Welcome to the 2021 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this weekend edition, August 7th, 2021, first weekend in August. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Preach to me for the latest financial news in the United States and sometimes beyond. I appreciate your support and I read all of your comments. And today, this evening, we're going to be talking about just two things: the jobs report and also the rental and home prices rising for American workers all over this country, from New York to Chicago to LA to Houston to Miami, everywhere. Rental and home prices are both rising in tandem, in addition to this economy that's been touted as we're on the process to recovery, but the road is much longer than anticipated here. So today we go to the BAPS here and we see that Biden came out yesterday on Friday, skipping victory, touting in his tan suit. President Biden looked nice in this fresh tan suit. Comes out telling us that the jobs number for July reports was strong. But he warns of economic peril from, of course, the rising cases that we're seeing now in states like Florida and California from this pandemic. But the thing is that what is not taken into consideration is that the payroll increased by 943,000, but the unemployment rate is still above 5%, ladies and gentlemen. That's according to the Department of Bureau of Labor Statistics. But the jobs, apparently we added some more jobs. But what it really is that these people were not adding jobs. Our workers were coming back to work in the hospitality and tourism industry and government and in the finance sector and in the transportation sector. Those were people coming back to their jobs just now, full force, from the since there's a lot of states have opened up or made conditions less restrictive now, since they say over 50% of Americans now have been vaccinated, according to reports. So, but now with this Delta variant throwing a wrench in here, and you can see White House Secretary Jen Psaki, she puts the Joe Biden's numbers way up there. Job growth after 6 months in office. This is a 6-month period at 4 million jobs. But how can they spend 4 million? How can they spend this as being 4 million jobs when we lost at the height of this pandemic back in March 2020? If you remember, we lost over 30 million jobs. And we've only gained back 4 million jobs, according to their graph, the White House numbers. So there is still, over 15 million jobs that are not coming back. And this small businesses, over 60% of small businesses, ladies and gentlemen, have closed in San Francisco, downtown, and many of other towns. I'm sure you see it in the suburbs. There's a lot of vacant commercial real estate. There's a lot of not just commercial real estate and private real estate that's vacant. There's a lot of businesses that had to shut down for good because the PPP loans were not extended. I don't know if people forgot about that. The PPP loans were not extended to businesses anymore. That is expired. The rental and eviction moratorium, of course, that has been extended through October 30th, or the end of October. But the PPP loans for the businesses, small businesses, and medium-sized businesses have not been extended. And so this is what we're going to see the fallout coming up in this winter and into 2022 from those businesses dropping. And that's more jobs. And then a lot of people can't work because of the refuse to take the vax. They're not going to be able to work. United Airlines just said that they're making mandatory vaccinations along with the hospitals, along with the state workers, federal workers, you name it. So what about those people? I mean, it's great that they have the vaccines, but what about those people who, for religious reasons or for medical reasons, they are not able to take the vax, okay? What about our children who are going back to school? So all of these are question marks that are going to be weighing on this economy in the wintertime. And, for those of us who have taken the vax, what about, are there going to be any more requirements? Are we going to have to take booster shots every year? Are there going to be more stringent job requirements for testing? Maybe you won't get as much time off if you get sick, even with the vaccinations. And you may get COVID. You may still get the virus even if you've taken the vaccine. So will you get sick time off, or will they just replace you with a robot or automation? So many questions remain with these job reports. And then for the workers in general, home and rent prices continue to rise in cities, according to MarketWatch.com, as working from home becomes more popular. So this is the paradox. This is the paradoxical. This is the irony. All of us are enjoying remote work for the most part. And a lot of people who have to go into the office are, essential workers at hospitals and jails and schools, etc. They're still seeing home and rent prices rise in these cities. The median home prices increased by 6% from June 20 to June 2021. And we've got home prices topping the median home price in the United States topping $370,000. This is unbelievable, guys. So many people have left the cities at the beginning of the pandemic and moved farther out into the suburbs, exurbs, and hinterland in a lot of these cities. But now we have a flux of people. Where are these people going to go? Where are we going to go? Where are Americans going to go when these three largest cities, New York City, LA, Chicago, all had population decreases from 2019 to 2020, according to early census projections, as you can see here. People are leaving these cities because of high taxes, high crime, and they were moving out into the suburbs, exurbs, and even to a medium-sized city. But guys, Phoenix has grew apparently the last 18% the last 10 years, and that's because a lot of people were exiting from California, as we all know. They went to Phoenix, Vegas, and I think Reno, I think. But guys, this is going to be absolutely catastrophic thing when they finally don't extend the rental and homeowners forbearance moratorium after next year when we go into 2022, because home prices rose to record highs in May. As you can see, prices rose 17% over year. This is the largest gain on record. They went way up here, 254.92 on this index, and it's still going up, as you can see here. And so this is going to add added pressure on the U.S. job market. How can we be a superpower when we're not manufacturing, we're not creating jobs? We're creating jobs that we do create are jobs that are treading water, are temporary, are jobs that are producing less than 30 hours a week for our workers, okay? And then secondly, for our American workers, for all of us, a housing crisis, because how are we going to house them when rental landlords need their rent? They need the rent, and they're going to be trying to make up for lost rent. They're going to be charging more in these urban areas and these suburban areas. And I'm not saying they don't deserve to get paid. I'm saying that they're gonna be feeling the pressure too, because they have bills that need to be paid as well. And homeowners, for those of us that don't have our homes paid off, the mortgages, the property taxes in a lot of these cities and counties are going to be going up because of the inflation that's running high, as you can see, and also because the property taxes are going up because the cities and counties, municipalities are broke because they don't have the money to sustain the city services, and they won't have the money to sustain the city services. So what is the President Biden and the administration going to do about that? The Republicans, the Democrats, the Independents, what are they going to do about that? Because these strong job numbers don't mean a thing if people don't have housing security. If Americans don't have housing security, either rental or owning or tiny houses or anything, or if they can't secure the housing, what are they going to do? Live out their cars and work at these minimum wage jobs or these jobs that pay just above minimum wage, $15, $20 an hour? It's not going to be enough with rising inflation, housing prices, costs. It's just going to be a snowball effect in a lot of these cities. And then crime is going to go out of control. And that's why a lot of you have already been warned and have already been prepared to be more self-sufficient. But it takes years to be self-sufficient, as you know, because to get food, water, security, medicine, trauma kits, supplies outside of the resources, it takes years to get that. And I admit, I'm still not prepared, even though I've been preparing for the last 3 or 4 years. It's just a lot of stuff to take into consideration. And so my prayers are with those who may be conscientiously losing their jobs because of a choice that's not to take the vax, or another choice, and maybe their job is just closing down for good, because they never talk about that in the job reports, that some jobs, businesses, over 50% of small businesses hadn't came back. And now with this Delta variant, and then there's another variant that may be coming out before December of this virus, listen, businesses are not going to come back regardless. They say, and if they may say, well, we're not going to replace you. We're just going to replace you with robots and automation in this technocratic society that we live in now. And so that's what we're facing, all of us, in the public sector, the private sector, this kind of new neo-feudalism government, or some people say it's neo-fascism, neo-feudalism, technocratic democracy, or what democracy. This is what we're kind of facing in this new America, and it's just very sad. But with prayer, with faith, with preparation, those of us that are true to helping our fellow Americans and true to working hard and doing things that we need, we can get through this. God will help us see this through this. But this is just going to be a shock to the system these next 2 years. Remember, the trials don't end for the just another side note, the trials don't end for the vaccines. The experimental trials don't end till 2023. Ironically, that's the same date that the Federal Reserve Bank is planning on raising interest rates in January 2023. They plan on raising interest rates way up from where it is now and everything, because they said, and tapering supposedly, but I think they'll have to do it sooner than that in 2022, because this economy is just going to go off the rails. So be blessed, my friends. I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of your weekend.